Oops, I lost you for a sec. We outlined the bottom section of the tombstone, and now I'm going to outline the top. Now you can leave it like this if you'd like. You can also, to give it a little bit of extra dimension, start kind of over here and just sort of trace along so that this is kind of like the back of the tombstone. And I'm going to do a similar thing over here where where the bottom would have some dimension. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a line here and kind of come up. I'm going to start here at the corner. I'm going to move to the line. So it just gives it a little bit of an extra added something to it. If you'd like, you don't have to, because it looks perfectly spooky and fantastic whether you've added the dimension or not. Oh, and if I do that, I'm going to extend my line here. So it's kind of like it's sitting on this and not behind it. So if you do this, you are going to fill in one section at a time. And as long as the sections don't touch each other, you can move to the next section. So the only section that this doesn't touch is this one. My flood's a little runny today. I mixed it kind of quick. Yours is not this runny. It works just fine. It's just a little trickier to use. Alright. So then I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes before coming back to it. So while I do that, let me do this. Scoot you over a little. Witch's Cauldron. So the Witch's Cauldron is super easy. It is, you can do it one of two ways. You can just go all the way around the entire bottom, or you can put it up just a smidge, which is what I'm doing, because around the bottom is simple and you can do that. Or you can do it here. If you do it here, you can just add yourself some little feet, like cauldron feet. You can make them ornate or just feet-like. You can make them cute. You can make them however you want. And then I'm not going to use the whole section here. Because I need some stuff to come out of my Witch's Cauldron pot. So I'm going to fill in my black. Now black icing is fun, but it can sometimes taste like you've got a lot of icing color. So I use black icing sparingly. You wouldn't probably want it to be every one of the cookies that you do with this in black. Also, it'll turn your teeth kind of a green color, which works really well with the witch theme. Usually just a little bit of clean water drinking. Worst case scenario, brush your teeth. It's not going to be a permanent sort of black-green teeth, but if you're taking pictures or something, it is something to think about. So, my cute little pot. Okay. Now, normally I would let this dry a little bit more, but we're going to keep going. You'll see that it's going to run in a little bit to the icing on the next to it, but that can't be helped as much. So I'm just going to put a little dab in here and then fill it in. And then this will be bigger. Yours will be dry, so you can bump up against the next section a little easier, but I'm trying to be just a little bit careful so you'll be able to still see the separation on mine, because mine is going to want to meld with that icing next to it. I'm just going to make it even with the bottom just for time purposes here. And since it's runnier on my end, it's got more bubbles than we normally see, and more bubbles than you will see in yours, because yours is a bit thicker than this. So we'll let it rest for a sec, and the bubbles will come to the top. And I'm just going to really quick fill that in. I've got a couple over here too. And I'm just tapping to fill that spot in, now that once I let it sit for a while, it wants to dry. And so just needs a little shimmy shake on any of the bubbles that you pop to keep that nice glossy finish. And you can see my icing on the gray is really thin, so it's got lots of these little guys. And they won't hurt anything, they're just kind of a pain, which is why I like to use thicker icing. We'll just leave it be. And then I will come back once these have dried just a bit and show you the rest of the steps.